G'day YouTube, my name's Lance and welcome to Bundy Bear's Shed. Well, first up, the weather report. Look, getting bloody cold. It's 9 degrees this morning, 9 degrees C, which is, I got long pants on, believe it or not. And boots, so I'm all rugged up. Yeah, I'm not putting long sleeves or anything like that on, it's not that bloody cold. But so I haven't got my thongs on anymore. I've got my work boots and I've got my long duds on for the mornings, and the days are still 25, 26, 27 in there somewhere, so it's lovely, lovely weather. And sitting in the door of the shed there as the sun comes up and you've got the sun coming in on you, and the no breeze and that, it's just nice. None of the dogs want to sit there, nick me chair, the bastards. But anyway, I kick them off. And we've got to share, but there's enough up there now that we all got our own one. So, but they seem to like mine for some reason. So that's dogs, isn't it? They like to get in your road. But look, it's been good, and we thought we were getting a little bit of rain, but nothing like that happened. So it is nice weather. I got a few comments about wearing my thongs. Well. Apparently, in Australia, the thongs are something that goes on your feet. In other parts of the world, they're called flip-flops. And a thong is a pair of jocks you wear with a bloody rope up your clacker, and you walk around bloody. I'm not sure about that. But anyway, look, yeah, I'll rest assured I'm not wearing them in the workshop. Right? I don't wear them at home either. And even when I go to the beach, no go. so we're not the thong wearing kind here. We wear thongs on our feet. The string up the clacker. I can just not understand how that's ever comfortable. But anyway, if any of you wear them, just let me know, eh? Yeah. I'm not trying it myself. I'll try a lot of things, but I'm not keen on that. And but anyway, on the same note, I got a nephew, Phil, and he's a good bloke. And when his marriage blew up years ago, and he came to stay with us for a while. We went camping, and Phil come out. He knew he told Judy, because Judy's his auntie, but he told her he was up to some mischief, and so we went camping and had a heap of people there, and anyway, Phil comes racing out in this mankini, and he reckons the look on my face, he reckons he would have loved to film it. He reckons it looked like a stunned mullet. Here's Phil coming out, running out in this bright fluoro green mankini and nothing else on, and running out through the camp, and anyway, he stopped, and we're camping like it was a mixed group. Yeah, we had our mates and their missuses and all that, but we're all had a laugh. And all the ladies got the cameras out, and we're saying, you dirty old buggers, what are you going to do with that picture? But then he had to come and make sure he got a film with Uncle Lance, and arm all around me and bloody all that sort of things. So that's bloody funny, and that's the closest I've ever got to a mankini. As Phil had one and he was giving me a cuddle. So I want that on the record that I haven't worn one, or a thong. But anyway, today, or this week, we got, I got a 5C collet chuck finally turned up, and with the 5C collet chuck, I ordered the one from America and it got lost somewhere, and so the people were kind enough to offer a refund. I followed the tracking number, and I couldn't find where it went, and so I contacted the people and I bought it off, and they couldn't find it either. So I think I told you all this a week or two ago, and so anyway, they refunded my money, and it was going to cost me $330 or something like that. And so I went looking again, and I found this one, which was nearly $200, but it didn't have a backing plate on it. So So that's sort of fair enough. If I'm a machinist elbow, I should be able to knock up a bit of a backing plate. So I've started the job. I've got a bit of flame cut round that look, it's only 1/2 inch that I picked up from who knows where, probably the Scrappy or somewhere like that. So I've got a bit of that, and I've dressed it all down. I've started the job, and the on the D1-4 taper, you have a taper, and this sits on the taper on the lathe, and then you have these pegs that and there's a circular cam that hooks in and pulls it in tight, and there's a little groove there that a locking screw goes, and the advantage of this is you can put the chuck on quickly, turn your three cams, for want of a better word I suppose, and that locks them in tight. But because it's got a thread here, you can actually adjust it a turn and put the locking screw back in and get it to where it's a good solid fit. So yesterday I have filmed some of this. Well, I filmed most of it. I'm a popular bloke. Yesterday I had a mate roll in for an hour and a half in the morning, so that sort of slowed things a bit, but good to have a yarn. And then there's an old fella down the road that he's been a very clever machinist over the time, doing air compressors for diving and things like that, and just a knowledgeable old bloke. And he comes to work now and then, and he's always said about dropping up to his place, and then I said, I'll drop in for a yarn if he's going past, because they've bought a place just up the road, probably 2 k's now, 2 miles or something like that now. And the thing is with my shed, with Bundy Bear Shed, you can see the big sliding doors on the front from the road. So the thing is, if both doors are wide open, you're welcome to come and have a yarn. If one of the doors is drawn across into the middle, I want to be left alone, or I'm up the house having a snooze or chasing mum around the kitchen or something like that. Probably snoozing really. But so anyway, yesterday afternoon I heard a car, and Bugman Dad was old then, so he come for a yarn. He must have been here 2 hours easy, and but very interesting to yarn to, and he'd been in business for many years, so we had a lot to talk about. You know, how things work in business, how people work in business, how staff work in business, how the whole kit and caboodle. But he's got a Chinese lathe, and he's telling me yesterday he's put just on the main spindle, he's dropped the drive belt off his normal motor off it, and he's got it driven somehow with a variable speed 3-phase motor, and then on the gearbox as well he's also put a variable speed there that he can use for particular jobs he needs to do. So, but for threading and that, he still uses the main gearbox on the lathe. So that'll be interesting. And if he's told me to come up, and he's told me before, but I get busy. I don't get very far. But so I'll have to make the effort and go and have a yarn. So but it was good to have a yarn yesterday. But you don't get anything done. But it's the spice of life, isn't it? Having friends and people to have a chat to and things like that. So pardon me. So with the chuck backing plate, if I don't have the video done this week, everything's got in the road. Dad's still in hospital, so we'll be off to see him this Arvo again. So we're not getting much shed time, but so look, if it's not this week, it'll be next week, or I might split it into a couple or something. But you'll get to see it. But and all I did was chuck this piece of steel. I'll chuck this piece of steel, one like that, in the lathe. I surfaced it both sides to make it true. And then where this taper is, where the snout is, I just put a dial gauge up onto it and kept adjusting my taper on my compound until I got the correct angle. And the angle, it turns out, is 7 degrees 7 minutes and 30 seconds. So that's a bit of paper I found. I've been looking for the specs here, there and everywhere, and that's what I found. And I thought, well, I'm the old Chinese lathe here. Well, getting 7 minutes 7 degrees, 7 minutes 30 seconds. Well, yeah, not highly likely. But anyway, with the dial gauge, you can tap it and you can get it to run through to the taper. So we've done that, and I've machined the taper here, and I must have more arse than Jesse the elephant, and I've got it perfect. It just sits on there, it just touches here, the taper's tight. I ground a little flat on the side here, because with flame cut you only had to move it a bit and the dial gauge would move, but I sanded a little flat piece, and I can put the dial gauge there and try and move it back and forth by hand, and I can't get anything. When I do get something, it's about half a thou, but I think that's more kick than, or more me turning it a bit when I'm trying to pull it. So look, I'm very happy with that. It's coming up looking good. And then for these locking pins, I took some locking pins out of the faceplate on my lathe, and I thought, oh, I might use them. And save me making new ones, just screw them in and I'll be set. But then they got a 10 by 1 thread, I think it is. Anyway, I haven't got any taps and dies for it, so I thought, bugger it, I'll just make new pins. So I've got 2 pins made so far, and my pins are going to be, they're 38 UNF, 3824, and I had 2 made when I got visitors yesterday, so I still have to make one, and I just single pointed these threads here, and I've got nice little thread cutting tools. You just feed them and bang, away you go, and 1 or 2 cuts and I've got them finished. But first one took about 3 or 4 cuts because I was shitting. I was thinking, I've got to bugger this up for sure, but anyway, the next one come through beautifully. So I've got that to do yet, and so once we get all the threads done, I'll probably make up a piece of steel with a thread in, screw these in, and then I'll have to come in with a 3/4 end mill and come into the side there and chew the side out to get the groove for the cam to go in. And on the other chucks I have, these pins are quite hard, and on the faceplate they're soft as butter, so I don't know what goes on there. And then once these are screwed in, there's a little groove there that you do with a ball nose end mill to drop an Allen key in to stop them from turning. But look, I may not put that in. This plate being only 1/2 inch thick, well, these bolts are, well, I think there's 5/8 thread or a bit more on, and probably not 3/4, 11, 16, 3/4. So I've got these so they just cover, and there's a little bit out here, and I'll end up facing that off. So the plan is, make the pins, put the pins in, lock this to the headstock of the lathe, true this surface up once more, once it's all locked in and on the taper, and then we have a little register on the back of the chuck. So we're going to just put a little step on that plate just to register that on, to keep it true, and then it's just held on with a couple of little 8mm Allen head screws. So that's the project that's happening at the moment, and depending on what time I get to how far down we get this week or next week or whatever, but it's underway, so it will happen. Pardon me, got the coughs a bit this morning, and look, while I'm going, I'm going to have a whinge, and I'm bloody pissed off Friday. It's the end of the financial year in Australia, and the end of the financial year in Australia goes from the 1st of July to the 30th of June, and that's always a time when in business you do stock takes, and if you want to get rid of gear, you have a few sales on, and the Australian government at the moment, if you spend up to $20,000 on a piece of major equipment, you can claim it in this year's tax, and that comes off the top of your income. So for tax purposes, so you save about, well, company tax is 30%, so you save that straight away. And if you've got any dead stock in your business that's been there a couple of years that doesn't sell, you get the opportunity to write that down to 0. So you can write off dead stock that's not moving, but When you write it down to zero, it's written down, but if you do sell it, well, yeah, you pay tax on the full amount sort of thing next. But I did the figures of the business and, and I did the figures on the business, and look, we've had a great year, and we're way up on where we hope to be, and in the current economic climate when things are a bit down, it's good to have something prosperous going on. And I was talking to the bank manager and the accountant and all those fellows that I chat to reasonably regularly. We're very lucky. There's a lot of businesses that are just marking time and just getting by. And anyway, I'm looking at putting another person on. So in Australia, in Queensland, there's a government incentive at the moment, and it's called Youth Boost. If you put a junior on and train them up through the ranks, you must have someone that's been unemployed for 4 weeks or more, between the age of 15 and 25, and the government will help you out to the tune of $20,000 with their wages to train them. So we probably don't need someone just yet, but now's the time to train staff before you need them and things wind up a bit and the shit hits the fan and you're thinking, holy bloody hell, how are we going to get by this month sort of thing, and you just get snowed under. So when you get to that stage, you've left it too late. So while this money's around from the government, we're going to put someone else on to sell spare parts, and we're going to train them up. They don't have to have any experience at all. We're going to start them off out the back office answering the phone, and the reason answering the phone is often answering the phone you can tell someone, well, I'll have a quick look and I'll get back to you in 10 minutes. So save the person hanging on while they're learning to look up parts. They can then grab Judy, myself, or Ross, or Nikki, or someone and get help to look up the parts so they know the system. So we're happy to train someone through. So Bundaberg's has a high unemployment rate, and we thought, well, this will be good. We'll get someone in, we'll train them up. What the government does after the first 3 months, you have the person in your business. They contribute $6,000 towards their wages. When they're there at the 6-month anniversary, they pay you $7,000 towards their wages, and then after 12 months, they've completed a year, the government gives you another $7,000 towards their wages. So Bundaberg being a high unemployment area, we thought we'd put it out there. So we put it out there, and we put it on. There's a Bundaberg forum Facebook page, and we've done well getting staff off Facebook. So we put it out there. We put it in all the Bundy classifieds pages. There's a Bundaberg jobs page, for the Wide Bay area. We put it out of there. We went to Serena Rosso, which is an employment agency. We've been to Nito, and they all said, oh, bloody oath, we'll have someone, no worries at all. Well, it's been out there a week now. I have 3 applicants. I thought I'd just be bloody knocked over with the response, but we've got 3 applicants. So probably Monday Saturday's the 1st, so next Saturday will be the 7th. So probably about July 9 we'll make a decision. So if you've got anyone who wants a job and you're in the Bundaberg area, or you want to move to Bundaberg, or whatever you want to do, get it in. Send it to Lance at queenslandtractorspares.com.au. And but I'm just dumbfounded by the lack of response. When we don't expect anything, we just want you to be neat and tidy, turn up to work, and be prepared to learn. You don't have to be. Young people, they have this thing. Everyone wants experience, but no one wants to give them experience. So anyway, so we got this job going, and that's beside the point of what I was starting to tell you about. The end of the financial year, we had a good year, made a few bob, and I thought, well, you get the opportunity on the 30th of June or up to the 30th of June of spending a few extra bob on gear, and so I had a look and I decided that the business could afford to buy a new lot of glass beads for the bead blaster, and just to fill that up is about $120–$130, something like that. And I bought that from Hare and Forbes. So I hopped online and had a look what specials they had. And on the quick change tool posts, I'm usually paying, by the time I get a quick change tool post tool holder, it cost me about $40. And I've even looked at getting them from overseas, but by the time you freight them all and in, there's not much advantage. And I don't sort of have the time to make them, and so I thought, oh well, I'll have a look and see if there's any more quick change tool posts or tool holders. And so they had a knurling one there for $40, and I thought, well, yeah, I haven't got one of them, we'll do that. And they have a special on the quick change tool post holder, the 250-200 that I have on my Chinese lathe here. And to buy a tool post holder off them, it's about $35–$38 plus the freight and that. And they've got the complete tool post holder, tool post with the 4 tool holders for $158. So I thought, oh bugger, I'll buy one of them, and I don't know what I'll do with the spare tool post, but yeah, if mine gets worn or something like that, we'll fit it. But it was a cheap way of getting extra tool holders, so which I probably don't drastically need, but it'll be handy. I'm thinking of on the lathe putting a couple of bits of Rio so I can slide my tools on. But anyway, another story that. And then I've got my big press from Hare and Forbes, and I've got a little 6-ton bottle jack press, and I thought I'd buy a 3-ton arbor press. And it's just handy sometimes if you're fitting a uni, instead of pump, you can just get the feel of it. So, so I thought I'd buy one of them as well. So anyway, online, I thought, oh, I'll do it online, save ringing up, they're probably busy. So I did it online, and it came to $733, so I put my MasterCard in. I have one, a particular one for the company for doing that sort of thing. So, and normally I just ring them up, there's my MasterCard number, and the stuff turns up later and no problem at all. So, but anyway, I thought, oh, well, I'll do it online, and they can get to it. And so I did it online, then this thing come up from Hare and Forbes that says, we have to verify you're the owner of this credit card before we send the goods. And I thought, God, I've never done this before. And it said they'll put a discount, they'll have a discount on the purchase price, and I have to hop into the internet banking, look for this amount that they've taken, then take this amount and hop back on their website and put this figure in. And I thought, God, that's a pain in the arse. But anyway, all right, that's what we've got to do, So I went out to admin and got them to log into the internet banking. How much money's, Hare and Forbes taking this money out? No, they hadn't taken it out. So I went back and I had looked 5 times in 2 hours, and no money had come out. And they use eWay as a clearinghouse, and we use eWay with our business. So I knew the credit card number was right because eWay wouldn't have accepted it if it wasn't. So I knew I hadn't ballsed up the number. So I thought after a couple of hours I rang them up, and I said, look, I'm having trouble with this site. And they said to ring up, and I said, I'm having trouble with the site. I've bought this thing and it wants me to verify my card number, but I said, there's no amount in the bank. Can I give you my card number over the phone, or can we do it another way? And he said, oh, you can, the only way to do it is direct debit the money and, transfer it across and all that. And I said, well, no, for accountancy in our business, we do use this account for that, so that we're not taking money and shuffling, and it just adds extra work. So, and he said, well, there's an input from people. He says, even though I rang Brisbane, he said, the people in Sydney, they've got to grab that, they've got to input it, then they've got to put the money into your bank account. And he said, it might be a couple of hours, we're busy today. And I said, oh, okay. So anyway, I had another look a couple of hours later, no money in the bank. And 5 o'clock Friday afternoon, had a look, they hadn't taken any out. And I had the shits by then. And I'm thinking, how hard are these bastards making it to deal with them? So, it's something that should have just been a quick, easy process. I've got to take time out of my day to root around all day, checking the bank, and we're in and out of the bank, and I'm getting my office staff taking their time up to check this bastard bank account, and still nothing. So staff and all went home, nothing had happened, and it said we had 24 hours to validate the card or the sale wouldn't go through. So I sent him an email and I said, you're making it hard to deal with yourselves. If you have a look at Queensland Tractor Spares history, we spent about 18 grand there over a while, and I said, as if I'm going to use a Dickie card to get something to Queensland Tractor Spares, and I rang the other bloke again and earlier in the day, and I said, this isn't working for some reason. And he said, we're busy, you just got to be patient. I said, oh, fuck, all right. and so anyway, I said, well, I don't care if the parts are late coming. Why don't you just wait till my MasterCard clears, and if it clears and the sale's good and all that, send it to Queensland Tractor Spares. I said, I'm bloody sure no one else is going to be sending parts to Queensland Tractor Spares, and it's a street address, and it's a whole thing. Like you can understand if I was just someone I'd never dealt with before, it was a post office box or something like that, you could understand. But so anyway, I sent him an email saying, "Mama buggers, bloody, how do I deal with you with this? I'm looking for this little tax advantage on buying the gear, and I couldn't deal with them." So anyway, Judy went into the shop to have another look yesterday, and at 9 o'clock, 9:00 something in the morning, they'd finally taken the money out. And so she rang me and says, look, they have done it, it's 700 and, they give me a 50-cent discount or something like that. And so it took 22 hours for them actually to get round to doing it. And so I went back in and I put the figure in, and because they don't show you an invoice or anything, so I put the figure in and said, yep, no worries, your invoice is right to go, and your parts will leave, when they can, sort of thing. So I had a look at the invoice, 1st to the 7th. So the tax advantage we were looking for dealing with Hare and Forbes, we got none of that. It's in this next year's. So just because of their rooting around, and I was telling Blake, I said, you whinge about everyone shopping on eBay and things like that, but on eBay it just bloody turns up. It's not all this bullshitting around just to try and spend money with Hare and Forbes. So I got the shits, and I said, that's it, I'm not dealing there anymore. I'll deal there if I have to, but apart from that, with this other bullshit thing, because my credit card's coming up shortly for a new date on it. They reissue every so often, so next time I suppose I'll have to go through all the same bullshit again. So Hare and Forbes are getting scrubbed off the list for Queensland Tractor Spares. We're just not going that way anymore. But so there you go, that's my week. Had a not a bad week, had a bloody good yarn, and got a bit of gear in it. We've ordered a heap of other stuff. After Hare and Forbes episode, I went to Aussie and bought a heap more gear from them. So it'll all work out in the long run, hopefully. But look, that's it for the week. There's been no more tractor videos yet. I'm waiting on parts for tractor videos. The people from Quality Tractor Parts that sent, that I worked with to send Milk that fuel lift pump, they're having a chat about sponsoring some of the parts on my YouTube channel. They can see the advantage in, if I'm using Quality Tractor Parts and saying, this is Quality Tractor Parts, part number this and that and the rest, and they're having a bit of a look at that, they tell me, and they tell me I can get any parts I want and just get them over for evaluation and go that way if I like, but I'm not that keen on doing that unless it's a proper agreement. It's taking advantage of them. And I had a meeting this week with Sparex, which is, look, Sparex is a great pommy company. We've dealt with them for many years in our business. We sell Sparex parts over our counter, and one of our most popular videos is fitting the Sparex injection pump seal kit. and they were up through the week having a chat, and they're considering the same thing. They can see the value of it, and there's not a lot of tractor information out there. There's some, but there's not a lot of good stuff, so we're trying to do our best there. There's not a lot of how-tos, yeah, and so we're going to try and put the how-tos out there, and how to fit a Sparex wheel bearing kit or something like that. Just little clips to help people with their tractors, and we'll drop a link to my website and Sparex website. So look, they're talking about that, so there might be something exciting in the pipeline for that. So anyway, we'll see. I'll keep you all informed with that, and yeah, you see me with a big grin and a handful of tractor parts, you'll know what went on. So look, that's it for this week. Thanks for watching. Like and subscribe and do all that other stuff, and we'll catch you later, eh?